more time.
Yeah. All right, so we are here at an undisclosed location, prepping for your first cruise, right? So this is with my club, the Northeast Chevelle and Camaro Association, and this is our spring icebreaker cruise. So we've got, how many cars you think? Like 20?
I counted like 19 a couple minutes ago, but I think more have arrived since then.
So like 19, 20 cars, most of them Chevelles, and we're headed out on like a 70-mile cruise today, out around the Quabbin Reservoir, which is in central Massachusetts, for those of you who don't know the area. And we got an absolutely gorgeous day today on tap, so should be a great ride. You guys are going to come along for a cruise, and Declan's going to be hanging with us for this cruise, so should be fun. You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
By far, youngest guy on this cruise, although there is one other guy on this cruise who's younger. Yeah. Not younger.
Well, not younger than me, but young.
Yeah. At least not geriatric like the rest of us. He's already been tasked to set up one person's Bluetooth on their radio.
It's very stereotypical.
Just by virtue of the age. So, yeah, there's that. All right, let's get going. So away we go, we're off. So this is a cruise / poker run. So cruise should be self-explanatory. It's just a bunch of us in classic cars, specifically mostly Chevelles in this case, driving around. It's a back road cruise, scenic roads, etc. The poker run part is the part that keeps it engaging and fun. It's sort of like the idea behind doing Super Bowl squares during the Super Bowl. Keeps you engaged in the activity. So it's supposed to be set up that ideally you have 5 stops on the cruise. Your starting point and then 4 more stops, including the end point after that. And at each stop you get 1 playing card. And at the end of the route, the person with the best poker hand is the winner. They get 75% of the pot, and the person with the worst hand is the official loser. They get 25% of the pot. It's small change. You don't pay for a lot of money. I think today it's like $20 a person. So you win a couple bucks if you win either way. But it's just a fun thing to sort of joke about and keep engaged. Keeps things enjoyable. Anyway, we like to do this as part of the club. It's a fun thing for the members to stay engaged with. It's a good camaraderie thing, and honestly, it beats the pants off of a car show where you're just sitting around on your butt. This gets us out there driving the cars, engaging, having fun with them. Now, the nice part about a cruise, as opposed to, a formal car show or even a cruise night, is they're a lot easier to pull together. So, as you might imagine, a cruise you can do alone. You can call up a buddy and you can do a cruise. Doesn't take much to do. So it's real easy to pull together. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And even a cruise like this, where we've got, I think, 21 cars right now, still doesn't take an awful lot of effort to pull off. Just a little bit of coordination, and you can still pull this thing off pretty well. It doesn't cost you anything to pull off. Well, except maybe the couple decks of cards for the poker run part. So here's all it takes for planning. The first thing is the route. You do have to know where you're going. So the most advisable thing is if you already know a great route, that's perfect. Good start there. If you know an awesome route to travel, great. If you don't already know an awesome route, start with Google Maps, right? Or whatever your map application is that you like. Start with a good start point, end point. ChatGPT can help you. Any one of these things will work pretty much to help you figure out a good path to travel. And ideally, you want to set it on a route that doesn't have any highways. Highways aren't exactly fun for this sort of thing. You want to keep it on back roads. And you want to set it up with some stops in place. Some places where you can congregate, some places with parking lots where you can actually stop and get these cars pulled over and parked en masse so that you can stop and get everybody collected together. Once you've got that route figured out, it's a real smart idea to drive it. Now, we did this the other day, 2 weeks ago, with a couple of the guys from the club, myself. It was a rainy day, so we just got together in one of the guys' vans and we drove the route as a dry run, A, to make sure that none of the roads that we were on was under some sort of horrible construction. Thankfully they weren't. And B, to make sure that every stop that we were going to go to was accessible. They weren't. So we found on that road that actually one of the stops that we were planning on didn't have adequate parking, so we had to nix that from the list. Then we found that one of the stops had a gravel road parking lot. We had to nix that from the list. So we definitely edited the plan based on that dry run. And we tightened up the menu, so to speak, or the route. And then we still had to sort of change things last minute, actually yesterday, because we got word from somebody that one of the stops that we had was going to be closed due to some construction going on or an event that's going on. So we had a last minute change in one of the spots, but so be it, not a big deal. So once we confirmed the route, we set that up in a flyer that was just as simple as putting it in Word, and then we sent the word out. Now, we have a club page where we were able to send that out as a club invite, but you could just as easily set it up as an event in Facebook if you want to get it spread out to people, or just send it out as an email to buddies if you want to keep it tight. It's up to you. But the idea about all of this is just getting a group of folks interested in driving it. Now, come the actual day, This is where opinions vary on how to run it. Now, I happen to be of the opinion that 20 is about the maximum number of cars that I think you should be trying to keep together. Now, it depends largely on the route. Some routes are more populated than others, and in more populated routes, I would make the argument that it's even more challenging to keep a bunch of cars together than it is in more rural routes. But let's say 20 cars is about the max that you should try to keep in one chain. If that's what you're doing, then you want one lead car and one what we'd call sweep car. And so the sweep car is going to always stay behind and make sure they're always the last car, make sure that you don't have stragglers, that nobody falls off the backside. That means that the sweep car really needs to know the route so they don't get lost. And they also need to know how many cars are with them, and they need to know which the last car was. But their whole job is to make sure that nobody gets cut loose from the pack. Nobody gets lost. It makes it tricky doing things like going through lights, because there's a lot of times when you're not going to get all 20 cars through a light, so half the group is going to have to pull over to the side after the light and wait for the rest of the group. So it makes it a little bit awkward to keep 20 cars together, but the upside to it is that you do stay together as a group. So you get to socialize at every stop because you're all stopping together and you're all moving as one group. So that's the good part, the plus side. Now, personally, again, I feel if you go more than 20 people or so, more than 20 cars or so, I don't think you can hold it together in one group. I just think it gets too awkward to do unless you've got some sort of a police escort, which is a whole different range. So, if you've got more cars than that and you don't feel like you can keep it all together, then the advice is hand out the stops to everybody, hand out the routes as a paper flyer to everybody, and make sure that you've got somebody who's going to stay at each stop for every car. And hand out the cards. That person stays at the stop until the last car gets there. You have times that the people are going to be at those stops. You know, they'll be there from this time to this time. People have times that they have to get to the stops by, and then makes it pretty simple. So that way you have to just get from stop to stop to stop at a certain time. People sort of socialize as they will, get to the stops on their own. Keeps it a little bit looser, but it works. And again, if you're not talking about having, 100 people or 200 people on this run, that system's still going to work fine, because it's not like people are going to be spread out terribly. So there you have it. That's how to plan a cruise. It's not real complicated. I mean, the bigger you make it, the trickier it can be, but it's not too hard to do. Start small. Do one or two of them. Then get bigger. But do them. They're fun. The best part about these cars is driving.
So we made it to our first stop, but this was a little bit of a cluster. It was not how we originally planned it. So for one thing, the first stop was always supposed to be a coffee shop. But believe it or not, the place where we were planning to stop, well, that part of town was having an asparagus festival. That's right, an asparagus festival. You can't make this stuff up, folks. So that part of town was absolutely swamped and we couldn't stop. So the rest of the train stopped here in this inn. They had nobody there, so it was easy for us to park and stop there for a little bit. One of the guys ran and got a couple of boxes of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts and brought them back for everybody. And it's just as well because we decided to wait up for one of the guys who was having some ignition troubles. His car was quitting on him the whole way from the first stop to this second stop. So we waited while he and some of the other guys worked on his car and got it running. We didn't have to wait too terribly long for him. I think by the time most people were finished with their coffee and had eaten their donuts, we were ready to roll, and they were pulling up behind us, ready to roll themselves. So, first stop, beautiful place, very picturesque, nice little farm. This is a really great part of Mass. Very rural, very pretty. Well, because I'm an absolute genius, I didn't manage to get any footage of our next stop, which was this nice little park. Not much to see there, but it was a beautiful little spot, although pretty darn crowded. But I did get footage of our last stop, and this is the Stone Cow Brewery. This is a great place, very picturesque, big field for us to be able to park in, and it's like we had our own mini car show with all the cars lined up here on the grass, and it was an absolutely gorgeous day for this. If you happen to be out in the area, I think this is out in Barrie, Mass, this is a great spot to try. Great food, great brewed beers. This is a really cool spot. Lots of outdoor seating. They had a live band playing while we were there. You can bring the family. There's a big playground for the kids to be able to play in. This was an awesome stop and a great way to cap off today. And a pretty good tip for you: have a food stop as the last stop on your trip. Well, that was pretty much that. It was a great weather day, especially considering that the day we did for a dry run was anything but dry. It hucked rain down the whole time. So this was pretty much a perfect weather day. Got a little bit of sun, maybe a little bit of a driver's tan there. But it was a great day for both of us. Declan had a really good time. He actually led the way the whole way coming home. I thought he might get a little bit hung up and want to be, following the leader the whole time, but he was really confident cruising the whole time. So it was a really good drive, a long drive. We had, because of some hiccups in some of the stops and last minute changes,
the last stops, the distance between the second to last and the last stops, were a lot longer than we had originally planned. So that was a little bit inconvenient. Declan wasn't really a fan of that, but it was still good. A great trip overall, and I think a really good experience. So if you haven't already done it before, plan your first cruise. They're really fun. They're really pretty easy to do. And like I said, it's the best part about these cars is driving them, so it's worth doing. We are getting back on it for doing more stuff for the videos coming up real soon. I did find a fan controller solution for the Chevelle so I can keep that thing cool and not keep the fans on all the time. So that'll be coming up. I do want to tell you guys a little bit about the fuel filler issue that I figured out too, because I did find a, not fuel filler, but a fuel sending unit. I did find one that's actually working, and I'll give you guys a follow up on that. And we got the rear end that's going in. So stuff is going to start to happen this summer. Plus, we've got the Maryland Chevelle show that we're going to go to at the end of June. Lots of stuff coming up. In fact, I'm getting ready to head out today for the Bronco Off-Rodeo that we're doing. It's an off-road course, training course that we're doing for my wife's Bronco that we're doing this weekend. So bunches and bunches of things coming up. We'll be filming all that and bringing it to you. So there is exciting content that's coming up in the future here, and we'll get back to posting much more regularly, hopefully every week for you guys. So please stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until we see you again, keep on throwing wrenches.